Hi there, in this clip we're going to look at question 22 from the March practice paper. So we're looking here at a question about halogens and the halides, and this is a question about the boiling point of the halogens. So before I started to answer this question, I'd have a quick look at the table of data. So what we notice is that the boiling point is increasing here. And if it was me, I'd say it was increasing, and I'm looking at my periodic table, fluorine, chlorine, so that's down the group. Now I'm not going to get any marks for saying that, but that's the trend that I need to explain. So identifying the trend first of all is really important. So I would be thinking, what is happening, what's changing as we go down the group? So as we go down the group, the number of electrons increases. As we go down group, the number of electrons increases. So the strength of the London force increases. And in a minute I'm going to underline the keywords that we'd be looking for here. Therefore, the amount of energy needed to overcome the London force increases. So 1 mark for what's changing. So in this case, we're thinking about the strength of the London force. Remember, that's induced dipole-dipole interaction. So the number of electrons is increasing. That increases the strength of the London force, which in turn increases the amount of energy needed to overcome it. So we must link it back to energy. So I've got down the group, electrons increase, strength of the London force increases, energy needed to overcome the force increases. So because I've written quite a short answer there, pretty much everything's a keyword. You don't need to write extended prose. Don't be put off by this big amount of space here. As long as you've answered the points clearly, nice simple bullet points like I've done there will be fine. Okay, on to part B. So you're supplied with a sample of ammonium bromide. Describe simple tests that will identify the cation, the anion present. Include reagents, expected observations and equations. So the cation we're identifying is ammonium, that's the positive ion, and the anion is bromide, that's the negative ion. So we want reagents, observations and equations. So because I know that I might forget to do the cations and the anions, I'm going to write cation as a subheading, and then I'm going to write anion as a subheading. Notice I've done that before I write anything else, so hopefully that means I won't forget either substance. So to test for NH4+, I'm going to heat with sodium hydroxide. In fact, anything that's got a hydroxide in it will work. Okay. The observation is that damp red litmus paper turns blue. Now being really fussy there, so what colour is the litmus paper? It's red. What colour does it become? It becomes blue, and it does need to be damp. If it's not damp, the gas that's released, in this case the ammonia gas, won't interact with the paper. So what's my equation for this? My equation is NH4 plus OH minus gives NH3 plus H2O. Now that's by far the simplest equation because what I'm doing there is just focusing on the ammonium. But you would be allowed to write the whole equation. So ammonium bromide, sodium hydroxide gives sodium bromide plus ammonia plus water. My preference would definitely be the first equation, it's much more straightforward. So 1 mark for the test, heating with a sodium hydroxide, 2nd mark for the observation, and 3rd mark for the equation. So the remaining 2 marks come from the anion. So this is a test for a bromide ion, and we're going to add silver nitrate solution, which you can either write in formulae or words, and the observation is a cream precipitate. And you need to say both of those things for the first mark. Equation for that: silver ions plus bromide ions give silver bromide. Now, unusually, the mark scheme for this question, if you've had a look at it, says state symbols not required. That's very, very unusual. So I would always put the state symbols in there. If you don't put the state symbols, you don't really show what happens in the reaction. So if you can't remember those tests, we did those back quite a long time ago now at the start of the course. Do have a look back through those. Remember, you can pause this clip, rewind it, and revisit bits of it as you need to.